Hi, this is Adrian Gomez, and we have a lot to cover today, so I'm going to go as quickly as possible over things that we've done before and try to slow down for things that uh, we haven't done in the past. And I try to keep these under 10 minutes, so that's my goal for tonight too. What we're going to do today is retrieve leaderboards and post bad news to the leaderboard. So the first thing we do, we create two credentials. I created two, post score and retrieve leaderboard. It's this one and this one here. And this I'm just gonna pop it up for a second so you could see it. But it's pretty much the same thing: post score, callback on, allowed, and authentication request. And that's all I have on these in this one. And then the other one. The retrieve leaderboard, I think it's pretty much the same. On, and I have authentication request, and I have around me leaderboard request and leaderboard data request. All the other ones are off. So I'm going to close that. Now, this is net new for people who haven't created a leaderboard. You first start in events, and you click on the add button here, but I already created one. And this is a short code. I call it win event, the name win event, enter event for leaderboard. And the shortcode here for the attribute always has to be score for my scripts to work. This, you can name it whatever you want. You can have multiple of these. You can have some for win events, for high score, for how many pies they ate. It doesn't really matter. Number of wins, data type is a number, and this I have a maximum, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you're doing time, you could do minimum, the sum, the count. I mean, if it really was a win event, you probably want to do a count. And again, this doesn't matter. The only part here that matters is that the shortcode has to remain score for my scripts to work and to work across a whole bunch of leaderboards. Okay, so once you create the event, you go into here, configurator, leaderboard, and I have the wins leaderboard here, and here I have wins leaderboard, number of wins, but I'm not really using it that way. None of the other stuff really matters. I mean, you could make it reset weekly or whatever, but you could read in the documentation what that's about. Here, this is the event that we made right before, and this is populated win event score all. This will be here too, based on the event that you select, and I made it descending. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the scripts. So I have the post score script right here, and you're going to send the score, the password, the username, and the event name. This is the event name that we first created in this video. So if you have multiple events, right, you would send a different event for the event name. As like all my scripts, this is just the authentication request. If there's no error in the authentication request, I sent a log event request and the score, and I run it as the user that was authenticated right here. And then all this should be familiar to everybody who does this. And here we are again with the retrieve leaderboard. This was a little bit more complicated. Again, you're going to send the leaderboard. This was the second item we created under here, configuration leaderboard. That's the leaderboard name we gave it. Password, the username that we already know. Entry count. Entry count is the number of entry from the leaderboard that you want to show. So if you want to show 10, you put an entry count of 10. Around me does the person who's logging in and you're asking for the leaderboard, if you send this parameter in around me, what happens is that it provides this count above and below the around me. So if I make the count 5, it'll give me the score for myself, 5 people above me, and 5 people underneath me. So that would be 11. Now, if there's only 8 in the whole leaderboard, it's only going to give you 8. And if there's only 3 under you, it's only going to give you 3 under you. But that's how it works. If you don't provide this, it will give you the entry count, the top entry count. And here we are. We authenticate. If there's an error, if there isn't an error, it does an around me request. If there isn't an error and around me is provided, so it's true, it does an around me request. Otherwise, it does a plain old leaderboard data request. The table string is a template that I have, and I make it into a JSON table. I don't know if this is necessary, but that's what I did for this script. I always have this problem with scrolling. And then the rest of the script, I go through and I populate the rows of the template table. And all I'm doing for this particular is rank, username, and score. I was thinking of maybe doing another column for am I the player, so that I have some way in my game that I'm building to highlight the fact that this is you and this is your score. So how this all works, first I'm going to show you the game salad, and I just ran it. So I have a table, and this is based on the other templates, right? So I have rank, name, and score, and I just added entries here, but it doesn't really matter. And then I have these. I really don't know Game Center that well, so I put some boxes and I put some text in them, and this is what is right there at the table. And if I go and get leaderboard, you see it went to the table and it pulled out Eden Jose leaderboard. And you can see it here in the NoSQL also. You go into leaderboards and it says wins leaderboard. And if you find here, there are the 2 entries. One is Adrian Jose and the other one. And then you see the rank. And technically I could put any of these into the table, like city. I might bring city back, but I know for sure that I want for myself is the user ID, so I might update the template on GitHub. I don't think I'll redo the video because it would just work exactly the same way. And so to set the score, I don't really have a mechanism in Game Silent to set the score, but here's the URL to send the score in, and I believe right now Jose is on the top, so the username on this one, I think it's Adrian. Let's see. The username is Adrian, and you see the event name is win event, and then I have the score of 23, so that should put me above Jose. So I'm just going to hit return here, and hopefully get a success. And I got a success. And so if I go back to and I said get leaderboard, hopefully Adrian will be on the top with 23. And there's Adrian with 23. And that was pretty fast. And if we go back to NoSQL, this is before the fact, right? See the score is here. That has a 10 and a 22. And if I do another find, you should see that one has a 23 now, 23. And that Jose still has the 22. And that's basically it. As always, if you have any questions, want to see something that I went through too fast, both the scripts will be in gist, and I'll put the link at the bottom of the YouTube video. Thank you very much.